En este momento le damos la palabra al presidente de Estados Unidos, Barack Obama.
Let me begin by thanking President
Las
Varela
gracias
and
al
the Panamanian
presidente
government
Varela y
for
al
their
gobierno
leadership in hosting
panameño
this
por su
Summit of the
liderazgo
Americas.
en recibir esta séptima cumbre de las Américas. Señor presidente, a usted y al pueblo de la ciudad de Panamá y a todo el pueblo panameño, muchísimas gracias por su hospitalidad extraordinaria y por los arreglos que han hecho para recibirnos. Me gustaría expresar mis pensamientos y querría también transmitir mis plegarias al pueblo de Chile, puesto que está pasando por un momento muy difícil, y espero poder hablar con la presidenta Bachelet en una cumbre próxima. Cuando llegué a mi primera cumbre hace 6 años, yo prometí que iniciaría un nuevo capítulo de participación y de compromiso en esta región. Yo opinaba que nuestras naciones tenían que liberarse de los viejos argumentos, los viejos resentimientos que demasiado a menudo nos atrapaban en el pasado, que teníamos una responsabilidad compartida de mirar hacia el futuro y de pensar y de obrar en maneras nuevas y actualizadas. Yo me comprometí a construir una nueva era de cooperación entre nuestros países como aliados en pie de igualdad en base a intereses y respeto mutuo. Y también declaré que este nuevo enfoque sería sostenido a lo largo de mi presidencia y en efecto ha sido así, incluyendo este último año. Yo he cumplido con ese compromiso. Nos reunimos aquí en un momento histórico. Como ya se notó, los cambios que anuncié en cuanto a la política estadounidense hacia Cuba marcan un nuevo inicio en la relación entre el pueblo de los Estados Unidos y el pueblo de Cuba. Esto significa, como ya lo estamos viendo, que más norteamericanos podrán viajar a Cuba, que habrá más intercambios culturales, que habrá más comercio y potencialmente más inversiones. Y más que nada significará más oportunidades y recursos para el pueblo cubano. Esperamos poder ayudar también con respecto a proyectos humanitarios con mayor acceso a telecomunicaciones, Internet y libre flujo de información. Nosotros seguimos adelante y vamos a comprometernos en cumplir con esto. Queremos establecer relaciones diplomáticas y he pedido al Congreso que empiece a trabajar para levantar el embargo que ha estado vigente durante décadas. El punto es que los Estados Unidos no serán prisioneros del pasado. Más que nada miramos hacia el futuro y las políticas que mejorarán las vidas del pueblo cubano y podrán promover los intereses de la cooperación en este hemisferio. Este cambio en la política, un punto de inflexión para toda la región. El hecho que el presidente Castro y yo estemos sentados aquí es un momento histórico. Es la primera vez en más de medio siglo que todas las naciones de las Américas están juntos y hablando de nuestro futuro conjuntamente. Tampoco es secreto que el presidente Castro y estará de acuerdo que nosotros tendremos diferencias significativas entre nuestros dos países. Nosotros seguiremos hablando en nombre de los valores universales que a nuestro entender son importantes y estoy seguro que el presidente Castro seguirá hablando de los temas que para él revisten importancia. Pero también creo firmemente que si seguimos avanzando y aprovechamos de este impulso buscando nuestros intereses comunes, entonces las relaciones mejores entre Estados Unidos y Cuba crearán nuevas oportunidades para la cooperación a lo largo de la región, para la seguridad, prosperidad, salud y la dignidad de todas nuestros pueblos. Y junto con este cambio de relación con Cuba, los Estados Unidos han profundizado su compromiso en las Américas de manera generalizada. Desde que pasé a la presidencia hemos aumentado las exportaciones de Estados Unidos de casi un 50% y eso ha aumentado muchos trabajos y cientos de trabajos y empleos en nuestro continente. También he propuesto $1.000 millones para ayudar a los pueblos de Centroamérica para poder fortalecer un buen gobierno, mejorar la seguridad y fomentar el crecimiento económico. Nosotros queremos ayudar a los jóvenes que no ven perspectivas en economías subterráneas que llevan a la violencia. Estamos estableciendo alianzas con países también para poder crear energía nueva, renovable y asequible para poder enfrentarnos al cambio climático, de lo cual hablaba la presidenta Youssef. Tenemos una iniciativa llamada de los 100.000 en las Américas. Es una iniciativa que promoverá el que vengan 100.000 estudiantes a estudiar a los Estados Unidos de Latinoamérica y 100.000 que de Estados Unidos irán a Latinoamérica. Y las nuevas iniciativas que anuncié en Jamaica podrán empoderar a nuevas generaciones de jóvenes en las Américas con la formación y capacitación necesaria para competir en una economía global. En mis reuniones con SICA y CARICOM, al igual que las discusiones que he tenido con ustedes bilateralmente, hay ideas y adicionales que nos interesan para poder de tal manera mejorar, ensanchar el acceso a Internet y tener relaciones público-privadas para poder expandir nuestros vínculos comerciales con una base, digamos, mucho más amplia e inclusiva, porque creo sinceramente que todos tendremos éxito si todos se benefician del crecimiento económico y no solamente pocas personas que están arriba. En casa he tomado decretos ejecutivos para poder tratar de arreglar nuestro sistema inmigratorio fallido, tratando de ayudar a la gente a que salga a la luz del día para que puedan vivir y trabajar en el país que llaman su hogar, incluyendo a cientos de miles de personas que llamamos soñadores, que han recibido un alivio temporario, y seguiré comprometido trabajando con el Congreso con respecto a la reforma inmigratoria. El punto final es este: los Estados Unidos miran hacia el futuro. Nosotros no queremos estar atrapados en la ideología, por lo menos yo no lo estoy. Me interesa el progreso y no me interesan las argumentaciones teóricas. Me interesa el poder proporcionar efectos tangibles para las personas. Nos hemos comprometido más que nunca respecto a décadas pasadas en esta región. Los que me conocen saben que si ustedes me presentan un problema, yo haré lo mejor para intentar enfrentarlo, resolverlo. No podré arreglarlo de inmediato, pero haré lo posible. También opino que la relación entre los Estados Unidos y las Américas es tan buena como es la mejor que ha sido en muchas décadas. Estoy aquí para colaborar con ustedes y seguir edificando sobre este progreso. Quiero hablar de algunas áreas donde creo yo que podemos adelantar aún más. Ante todo, nosotros vamos a seguir defendiendo la Carta Interamericana Democrática, que asevera que los pueblos de las Américas tienen el derecho a la democracia. Yo creo firmemente que nuestros gobiernos juntos tienen la obligación de respetar las libertades universales y los derechos de nuestros ciudadanos. De una vez más, quiero felicitar al presidente Varela y a Panamá por haber incluido a los grupos de la sociedad civil en esta cumbre como aliados formales. Creo que las voces de nuestros ciudadanos deben ser escuchadas y, a medida que seguimos adelante, deben ser una parte integral de estas cumbres. En segundo lugar, debemos centrarnos en volver a alimentar el crecimiento económico, reavivándolo para que haya mayor progreso en las comunidades que no han sido alcanzadas. Para que las Américas sean más competitivas, tenemos todavía mucho trabajo para armonizar reglamentos, alentar buen gobierno, transparencia para atraer inversiones, infraestructura, enfrentándonos a los retos que tienen que ver con el costo de la energía en muchas comunidades, especialmente en países de Centroamérica y en el Caribe, donde los costos son tan elevados. Esto presenta en sí un gran desafío para el desarrollo económico, y queremos centrarnos en los temas de energía limpia. También tenemos que enfrentarnos a los temas de la inequidad y la pobreza. Colectivamente comenzamos a identificar cuáles son los programas que funcionan y los que no. Debemos de invertir más en los programas que sí funcionan, dejando de hacer las cosas que no funcionan. No tenemos dinero que desperdiciar, puesto que hay tantos jóvenes con tantas necesidades. El presidente Varela tiene razón en enfocar la educación y la formación. Ese es un tema que todos debemos abordar colectivamente. Tercero, tenemos que seguir invirtiendo en la energía limpia, creando trabajos, empleos, combatiendo los cambios climáticos. Los Estados Unidos siguen encabezando este esfuerzo y me gustaría indicar que nuestra contaminación debida al carbón es la más baja en casi 2 décadas. A lo largo de las Américas tenemos oportunidades de mejorar y ensanchar nuestras alianzas para tener una energía limpia y aumentar las inversiones en renovables. Debemos seguir estableciendo alianzas con nuestros aliados en Centroamérica. Entablando un enfoque holístico para ver el Estado de Derecho y enfrentarnos al gran flagelo del narcotráfico. Esta es una responsabilidad compartida. Los Estados Unidos deben reducir el flujo de armas y la demanda de drogas. Y debemos de buscar y perseguir esas redes que están causando tanta violencia. Es así entonces que tenemos una nueva relación con Cuba, más alianzas comerciales para reducir la pobreza, dando más oportunidades, aumentando los intercambios entre personas, más inversiones para nuestros jóvenes, de energía limpia para combatir el cambio climático, la seguridad, la cooperación para proteger a nuestras comunidades y ciudadanos. Ese es el nuevo capítulo de compromiso que nosotros emprendemos a lo largo de las Américas. Sin embargo, me gustaría hacer un último comentario dirigiéndome a algunos puntos que planteó el presidente Correa y que lo harán también otros presidentes a lo largo de esta discusión. Me encantan las historias y las clases de historia que recibo aquí. Yo soy estudiante de la historia y, en efecto, conozco varios de estos episodios que se han mencionado. Soy el primero en reconocer que la aplicación y de los Estados Unidos ante los derechos humanos no siempre ha sido congruente y consistente. Y estoy sumamente consciente del hecho que hay capítulos oscuros en nuestra propia historia en los que no hemos, en efecto, observado y cumplido con los principios y los ideales sobre los cuales se fundó nuestro país. Hace tan solo unas semanas estaba yo en Selma, Alabama, celebrando el 50 aniversario de la marcha a lo largo del puente, que tuvo como resultado una violencia horrenda. Y la razón por la que estuve ahí fue la celebración, por el hecho que para mí fue el triunfo del espíritu humano. O sea, personas comunes y corrientes que no recurrieron a la violencia pudieron sobreponerse a la segregación sistemática, se escucharon sus voces y nuestro país se transformó. Nosotros no podemos reivindicar la perfección, sin embargo podemos decir que nosotros tenemos una apertura hacia el cambio. Entonces tan solo les diría que nosotros podemos pasar mucho tiempo hablando de agravios y de injusticias pasadas, y supongo también que es posible utilizar a los Estados Unidos como una gran excusa muy cómoda, muy de vez en cuando, debido a los problemas políticos que podrían suceder a nivel nacional. Sin embargo, eso no es lo que va a aportar progreso, eso no es lo que va a resolver el problema de los niños analfabetas que no tienen que comer, no tienen suficiente comida, y eso no hará que nuestros países sean más productivos y competitivos en una economía global. Entonces, quiero que quede muy claro que cuando nosotros hablamos de derechos humanos, no tiene que ver con el hecho que nosotros pensamos que somos perfectos, es porque nosotros pensamos que la ideal de no encarcelar a la gente si está en desacuerdo con nosotros es la idea más justa. Quizá el presidente Correa tenga más confianza que yo en la distinción entre la prensa buena y la mala. Creo que es mala prensa por el hecho que me critica. Sin embargo, sigue hablando esta prensa en los Estados Unidos, porque yo no confío en un sistema en el que solamente una persona hace esa determinación. Creo que si creemos en la democracia significa que todo el mundo tiene la oportunidad de hablar y
for what they believe is right,
ofrecer sus opiniones,
express
para defender
their
lo que
conscience,
opina es
and pray as they
justo
would,
y rezar, tener
and
un
organize and
credo
assemble
y organizarse
as they believe is
y
appropriate, as
reunirse
long as
tal
they're not
y como
operating
piensan que
violently.
sea apropiado, siempre y
So we
cuando
will
no
continue to speak
obren
out on
con
those issues,
violencia.
not because we're
Nosotros vamos a
interested in
seguir
meddling,
hablando
but
abiertamente, no porque
because
queremos
we know from our own
inmiscuirnos,
history,
pero
it's
porque nosotros
precisely
sabemos
because
en
we're
base a
imperfect,
nuestra historia, sabemos que somos
that we believe it's
imperfectos
appropriate for us
y
to stand up.
opinamos
When
que es
Dr. King was
apropiado
in jail,
hacerlo. Cuando el
people
Dr.
outside the
King
United
estaba
States
encarcelado, la
spoke up
gente
on
fuera de
his
los
behalf.
Estados Unidos habló a su nombre
And I would be betraying
para
our
defenderlo.
history
Entonces yo estaría
if I did
traicionando
not
nuestra
do
propia historia
the same.
si yo no hiciera lo mismo.
The Cold War has been over for a
La
long
Guerra
time,
Fría llegó a su fin hace mucho tiempo
and I'm not interested in
y a
having
mí no me interesa
battles that,
el
frankly,
que sigan habiendo
started
batallas
before
que
I was born.
francamente empezaron antes de que naciera.
What I am interested in
Lo que
solving
me
problems,
interesa es en resolver
working with you.
problemas, trabajar
That's what
con
the United
ustedes.
States is interested in doing.
Es
That's
lo
why
que le
we've
interesa a
invested
los
so
Estados
much
Unidos, es por eso que hemos
in
invertido
our
tanto
bilateral relationships,
en nuestras
and that's why I
relaciones
will continue to
bilaterales y es por
invest
ello que vamos a seguir
in creating the kind
invirtiendo
of
en la
spirit of equal
creación
partnership and
del
mutual interest and
espíritu
mutual
de
respect
alianza en pie de
upon
igualdad,
which I
respeto
believe
mutuo,
progress can
sobre
advance.
los cuales creo
Thank you
que el
very much.
progreso puede seguir adelante. Muchas gracias.
Margaret Sanger in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, on record in public letters with the Rockefeller Foundation saying we've got to pose as liberals, get the black leaders in place so we can abort most of them, and they've been successful. 51% of blacks never make it out of utero. They're murdered in the womb. So they did that, and they talk about controlling black leaders by financing them. So we know that that's their strategic plan. And Martin Luther King got off the reservation, so they took him out.
Well, absolutely. And so you look back in 1960, and is it beyond the pale to consider the fact that they may have wanted to groom somebody from a very early age, like a baby? You know, you've got his parents and his grandparents basically in their pocket. And then you've got this stuff about behavioral science work at the University of Hawaii. There's just so many gaps in the histories of not only the president, but also his mother, his father, his grandfather, and his grandmother on his mother's side. So when you see gaps like that, now you look at any other president, those families we knew way too much. My God, Roger Clinton, Billy Carter. But in this case, we have these significant gaps in their histories, and I think that's something that people should be concerned about.
Wayne, I think that's the key that you just hit on. You have all this effort to cover up the past. You've got CIA connections to your left, your right, forward, and backwards at every level. You have got the fact that they've spent so much time, not just in the present, but going back decades covering up his true providence and where he comes from. And then, as you said, all these intelligence and corporate intelligence and foundation connections, and now he's the president, and we know they have these programs to go in, not just here, but all over the world, and recruit leaders. I mean, the British recruited Hitler, that's declassified, in the mid-20s, and took him from nowhere and funded the National Socialists to make him their leader, and the Milner Group bragged, we're going to build this guy up, and he's going to tear Europe up. And then we're going to be able to come in and rebuild it and take it over. I mean, this is their long-term strategic thinking. And when you look at Obama and everything he's done, it's clear this guy is a total betrayer of everything he claims to be.
Well, you remember last November when old man Bush, HW 41, and Jeb Bush paid what was called a courtesy call to the White House. We were not even told what that was about, a courtesy call. That's all we were told. Well, you know, you've got the guy who the CIA headquarters is named after, and his son visiting Obama, and it's just, oh, we were in town, we thought we'd stop by. Look, that doesn't happen at the White House. I mean, those Salahis aside, you don't get into the White House unless you have a reason to be there.
So, I mean, obviously you're saying their plan was to have a controlled asset who was supposedly African-American in there. That's clear. But how is their plan going? I mean, did they mean for him to be a messianic leader and be successful? And has their attempted launch of this African-American Napoleon failed, or did they plan to just use him as a distraction and then destroy him?
Well, I think he's given them everything they want. Look, Operation Iraqi Freedom is now Operation New Dawn. I mean, right out of George Orwell's Newspeak lexicon, we're shown pictures of convoys leaving Iraq. 50,000 troops are going to stay, and we're going to see an increase in contractors. What's that all about?
By the way, I have the New York Times today on that. They say, oh, private contractors and intelligence operatives will now run the government. So this is a practice run for the U.S. and other countries where they don't just stage coups, they come in and put in their entire apparatus through these giant armored embassies and control everything and just have plainclothes death squads running the nation.
Well, that's right. And look what Obama, right after he comes in, he president's July in Honduras. He wants to build 7 military bases in Colombia, and the Constitutional Court of Colombia just shot that down. So, you know, what Obama wants to do is now being shot down by the court in Colombia. I mean, this guy is owned lock, stock, and barrel by these intelligence, you know, the intelligence community, because he's not said no to them ever. I mean, Patriot Act still in effect. We have increase in electronic surveillance. We got these deals between the CIA and Google and NSA and Google and Microsoft and everything else. And so he's allowing. He ran on openness. The Freedom of Information Act is still not being implemented. It's still backlogged. Requests are not being honored. So, I mean, everything he ran on, he has lied on very fundamental constitutional issues. And we were told that he taught constitutional law at the University of Chicago Law School. I don't know which law he was teaching, because when you look at his actions, it looks like he's teaching the Constitution of North Korea, not of the United States of America.
You know, I'd laugh, but it isn't funny. This is really happening. And, I mean, this is really the private offshore corporate takeover of society. They're setting up their fusion centers run by the CIA in every major city. They're federalizing the police. They're training U.S. SWAT teams in Iraq for cordon, for shutting down cities, for gun confiscations. At the G20 in Pittsburgh, my employee got arrested, Rob Dew. He saw people being let off trucks with bags on their heads. The Army would then, when they had to go to the bathroom, to follow them and then make fun of them. And this was all encouraged, like something right out of 1984. And they had private snatch and grab teams in front of news cameras on purpose, grabbing activists, putting bags on their heads. Now it happened in Toronto. Same thing in England. They are globally deploying a scientifically developed corporate oppression, a corporate black op tyranny. And, I mean, clearly, this is the complete shadow takeover, and now it's out in the open. I mean, this is so illegal, Wayne.
Well, let me say another thing about Obama. You know, he has had scheduled 2 trips to visit Indonesia. Both trips have been postponed. You know, I think he knows that when he arrives in Jakarta, the Indonesian press, some foreign press, will start looking at his time there. And I don't think they want that kind of attention on that. And I think that's one reason. Now, he's always said he's had other priorities. I think the oil spill was one reason.
Well, no, that's another issue, Wayne. You keep bringing up great points. It's admitted he was in Indonesia. Then he lied about being in the Muslim school. It's fine if he's a Muslim, but why lie about it? I mean, everything he's ever told us is a lie. You went over that earlier. I mean, when the parents met, when the grandparents met, when all this happened, we learned it's all a fiction.
Well, and the other thing I discovered is when they were, before they went to Hawaii, they were in Mercer Island, Seattle, in the state of Washington, and I did find in a list of these CIA people the name of the chief engineer for Boeing, and his area of primary assignment was Mercer Island. Now, Madeline Dunham worked for the Boeing Corporation during World War II in Wichita, Kansas. So he's the only guy listed with the agency in Mercer Island. You know, we got to figure the time frame here. You could conspiracy or coincidence, but I think that's much more than a coincidence.
But we know his father's involved in all these secretive activities. Now Obama's involved with Odinga, having the Muslims riot to create the prime ministership for him. I mean, just everything Obama does is dastardly. Everything he does is skullduggery laced. And it's just at every turn. And then there's the secrecy. And so I think you've conclusively proven that the media has been involved in a cover-up of this guy's true history, and everything we know about Barry Soetoro is a complete stinking lie. Final segment straight ahead with Wayne Madsen, WayneMadsenReport.com. Our site's at GCNlive.com. We haven't done one since Monday. You want me to do it again? I appreciate the work you've done. I want people to read Wayne Madsen's report, and I want them to read the breakdown that we've done on top of it. So I want you to search this key term and make it the #1 search term today. And I'm going to launch another one next hour. We'll hit them with 2 torpedoes. But the article isn't ready at prisonplanet.com separately on what Google's doing, trying to take over the web with Verizon. So that'll be launched at 30 after with Joel Skousen next hour. But I want you to search the term bombshell Barack. Bombshell Barack. Bombshell Barack. And then that will lead them to WayneMadsenReport.com. Search the term bombshell Barack right now, and that will lead them to this investigation. We'll post these videos later at YouTube. We'll link those in. And Drudge Report routinely then links to this, and we can push this mega viral thanks to you taking action. We'll expose this CIA-created asset. Bombshell Barack is the search term. Bombshell, one word, B-O-M-B-S-H-E-L-L, Barack. Please take action. We're 10 for 10. We've done this 10 times. You have never failed in the info war. Bombshell Barack. And we're going to launch another torpedo in T-minus 35 minutes. Closing comments, Wayne Madsen. I hope people will support your investigative journalism by subscribing. You give most of what you do away for free, but it's important that people support you as an investigative journalist. How do they subscribe to WayneMadsenReport.com?
Well, you just go to Wayne Madsen Report, M-A-D-S-E-N Report, all one word, .com, and you'll see a thing that says Join Now. Click on that, and it'll step you through the process. You know, it is time-consuming to go through, locate, and then go through these extensive files because we're talking about kind of ancient history. You know, the CIA, 1960, 61, up through the 70s, and there's a lot that you just have to piece it together, and it's a very time-consuming process. But I'm going to continue to try to delve into this background because, as I said, this should have been done in '08. It wasn't done, but I guess the old saying "better late than never" applies here too.
Well, you certainly deserve respect and support, Wayne. We've got about a minute and a half left in this hour. Any other key tidbits or points you wanted to make?
Well, I noticed that in his mother's passport records, there was a name that had been crossed out, Soeharto, which is yet another name we have in addition to Soetoro. I guess the question is, who is Soeharto? Who was he? Who is he? Was that another name assigned to President Obama when he was in Indonesia?
How do you spell Soeharto?
S-O-E-H-A-R-K-O.
Very suspicious. Anything else?
Well, I would just urge people to, you know, while we have the internet, you know, it's under tremendous assault by the guys like Cass Sunstein and his friends. Just search all this information out, save it, because it may become useful later on before it disappears entirely.
I agree. They're clearly telegraphing they're planning to launch false flag attacks on the web, blame it on China or Russia, and use it as a way to start controlling it.
Absolutely.
WayneMadsenReport.com. Wayne Madsen, thank you for spending an hour with us. Look forward to speaking to you in the near future. We'll continue to watch your reports on your great website.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. There goes Wayne Madsen.
Buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a la Casa Blanca. Su casa también. And happy Cinco de Mayo. I know there are tacos and churros and margaritas, tequila, so I'm going to be brief. I'll let you get back to the tequila. She sounded very excited about that. let me, first of all, ask everybody to give a big round of applause to our musical guests, the Esperanza Azteca Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles and Puebla, Mexico. Hey! So one of the biggest Cinco de Mayo fiestas in the world happens every year in LA. And some of these students left their hometowns to be here today. So we are very, very proud of them. I also want to welcome our guests from Mexico, Undersecretary Sergio Alcozar. Give him a big round of applause. Ambassador Alejandro Estefil is here. Give him a big round of applause. We know the origins of Cinco de Mayo. On this day, more than 150 years ago, thousands of soldiers from one of the world's most powerful armies marched towards the city of Puebla. And the farmers and the peasants who lived there were as hopelessly outmatched as their uniforms were mismatched. But they held their ground. They sent the invading army running in the other direction. It's one of the great David versus Goliath stories in history. And the United States, of course, has made Cinco de Mayo a celebration of our own. After World War II, when states and cities across the country sought to recognize Mexico and Mexican Americans for their contributions to the war effort, recognition of Cinco de Mayo in the United States took off. And today we celebrate it with parades and barbecues and dances and street fairs and parties, just like we're having today with tequila. So this holiday is an opportunity to remember how deeply Mexican-American culture is woven into the fabric of this country. People of Mexican heritage and their children and their children's children have influenced our commerce and our culture and our language and our literature, our faith and our food. Like so many immigrant groups in this country, Mexican Americans have kept us young and dynamic and energetic as a people. So we reaffirm our commitment to those traditions, and part of the way we reaffirm it is to reaffirm our commitment to comprehensive immigration reform, because that's who we are as a country. You know, the story of America is a dynamic story. So we're not just going to stop now suddenly and forget everything that helped to build this country. And part of what built it was the incredible power of our immigrant communities. Our prosperity, our security demands comprehensive immigration reform. That's the reason I took the actions I did last fall within my legal authority to make our immigration system fairer and smarter and more just. That's why Congress still needs to step up and ultimately pass comprehensive immigration reform. You know, I know that you know, it's so challenging when you know the right thing to do and there are folks blocking your way and obstacles in your path. But I just want to remind everybody that, you know, progress is not always a straight line. Sometimes you have to take this turn and that turn and go over this mountain and that valley. But the good news is the American people are with us, because they understand that the story of America is a story of progress. And it's often written by people who come here with a vision for what's possible and are willing to take risks and aspire to something bigger than what they've already known. You know, as one of my predecessors, Franklin Roosevelt, once said, "Remember always that all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists." Immigrants and revolutionists. Now, that's not the story of looking backwards, that's the story of looking forward. That's what we're doing today. And that's why I'm so glad that all of you are joining us. So with that, viva los Estados Unidos. Viva Mexico. Feliz Cinco de Mayo. And go easy on the tequila. Muchas gracias, everybody.